Okay, welcome back everyone. So we're going to be focusing on a growth-based stock, and I've actually covered this company in the past, but we'll be taking a look at Weedmd again. But before we do, if you can hit the thumbs up on this video, it'll be great. The goal that I'm setting this week is 94 thumbs up. And for those new to the channel as well, definitely hit that subscribe button to be notified for new videos that come out every week. And so Weedmd, this is ticker symbol WDDMF, but you can see that they've actually changed their name. So the company itself has changed to Entourage. And if we take a look at the performance of this company, in the last year alone, we've had a peak around $0.74. There's been a really big sell-off and the current price to date is at 0.23. Now I've been very bullish in this company. You can see how much money I have at the moment, and so number of shares over 14,000. At the same time, the return has been disappointing, but I'm still very bullish at this company, and we'll be taking a look at some of the reasons why. And so as a quick summary for those unaware, this is a Canadian-based company, and they supply a range of cannabis-based products. Their main focus is on the healthcare sector, so supply medical cannabis, but in addition they've been expanding into the consumer-related products. And so taking a look at some of the stats here, if we take a look at some of their quarterly earnings, we can see that in 2020 alone their net income was negative, and so this does explain why the company has sold off. It's probably best that we look at the full income statement to try and understand where this loss is taking place. And so the first point here is our gross profit, that's at negative, and here we just have a breakdown of their cost for their revenue. So this is the money that they are losing, and then subtracting that from their actual revenue figures, we have the minus 40 million here. And here we can see that their operating income is at minus 87 million. There's also interest that they're paying as well at minus 5 million that they've lost, and then a positive here of 3.98 million, so that gives a total net of 89.61 million. At the same time, their assets has increased year on year, so their total assets are at 171 million, but there are liabilities involved as well at 97 million. But overall their debt to assets is a good figure here, and so we can see that these numbers aren't looking great, and although their income statement isn't specifying where some of these losses are coming from, we are aware that this company has been expanding, and so we just have to wait until we see 2021 figures. At the same time, with a price of 0.23 cents, these really are great buying opportunities out there. And in terms of the price increasing, it's more of a case of when it's going to increase rather than if it's going to increase. And so moving on to the name change. So previously this company was called Weedmd. They've now changed their corporate name to that of Entourage Health Corp. And so this was approved by their shareholders, held all the way back on June the 30th. And so just quoting from the CEO, we can see that they've stated that this is truly an exciting and transformative time for our company. Weedmd's values and principles will always be at the heart of who we are. Advocates for our patents, consumers, shareholders and communities, upholding a standard that delivers on quantity, stability and experience. Now rooted in Entourage Health Corp. And so the CEO is focusing on this transition and really advocating that this is a step in the right direction and they're moving on to bigger and better things. Continuing with the quote, Entourage Health represents Weedmd's evolution from its inception in 2013 as one of the first licensed producers to its launch of award-winning brands following the merger of Starseed Medicinal and pending addition of craft cultivator CanTX. We are a group of professionals who always put the consumer and patient first. We are now looking to develop and expand into new markets, and our cannabis experts that make up Entourage Health will expedite and bolster our growth for years to come. They then go on to thank their employees, partners, and most importantly our shareholders for their unwavering trust and commitment to our success. And so some things to note here is that their actual Canadian license will still continue under the separate subsidiary of Weedmd. There's also changes with their TSX exchange. And so there is a new ticker named ENTG, and that's on their TSX Venture Exchange. Now given that Trading 212 has WDDMF stock under the OCT market, there's been no mention of a ticker symbol change. But we can already see that the name has already been modified, and so that's just something to be aware of. And so let's just move on to the first quarter of 2021. We can see that there's a total revenue of 12.9 million, and so that actually beats their guidance that they set of 12 million. They have a net revenue of 10.3 million in quarter 1 of 2021. And so that represents over 100% increase over their quarter 4 2020 net revenue figures. We have some expenses that have been decreased by 66%, although to me that sounds as though there's still a loss being involved given that they haven't provided the figure. And so just looking at the figures here, the previous quarter up to December 31st, 2020. We're comparing that to March 31st, 2021. And so I'm mainly interested in their income. Here we've got 45 million, which is actually the loss here. So we can treat this as, say, a negative number here. 45 million income loss for the fourth quarter in 2020. We are looking at a loss of 7 million for March 2021. And so this company is still operating at a loss, just looking at this first quarter of 2021. But as I say, with a lot of growth companies out there, they do operate at a loss. We are aware that this company is scaling massively, and sometimes this is just a function of how the company wants to grow in terms of scale. And so just having to think of where this company could end up in the future, I definitely suspect that there'll be times in the future where the actual underlying stock price increases. Given the name change, there is more traction on the company, so just recent posts showcasing all the changes in the ticker symbol. And there's been this period where the CEO has been replaced, so somewhat of a shaky period for the company in the last 3 months. But I have no plans in selling out of this company. In fact, it's still a great time to buy more each time. In the last month alone, I think I've put an extra £500 into this company, but it's definitely a long-term hold. So if you're interested in more regular updates for this company, I'm happy to provide them. We'll see if this company can make a turnaround and see if they can have more profitable quarters in the future. But for me personally, out of all the cannabis-based companies, I like the fact that they focus on the medicinal side, but they are also aware of the broader market and the other options out there when it comes to selling their product. So definitely leave a comment below if you're interested in more updates for Entourage Health in the future. I'll be focusing on the good and the bad, and also let you know what my actions will be in the future, so whether I continue to hold this stock or whether I continue to add more or sell out of my position completely. And so if you haven't done so already, definitely hit that subscribe button. New content is out each week. So thanks for watching everyone, and with that said, I'll catch you in the next one.